The House of Wisdom fell, and the river ran black, not with blood, with ink. In the winter of 1258, a Mongol army reached the walls of Baghdad, and when the city broke, they carried its great library down to the water and emptied it into the Tigris. Survivors would remember the river darkening for days, thick and slow, heavy with the dissolving words of countless books. Tonight we walk back toward that river and toward the library that once fed it. We go to a city that held for a time more written knowledge than any other place on earth. The lamps are still burning, the pages are still whole. Come in quietly and stay a while. The story of this place is not only a story of loss, it is a story of what people will do to keep a thought alive, and how far a single copied line can travel once it leaves the room that made it. So let us step back from the ruin and walk into the city while it still stands. It is evening in Baghdad, sometime in the 9th century. The heat of the day is loosening its grip. Along the banks of the Tigris, boatmen tie up their reed craft, and the smell of the river mixes with baked brick and cooling bread. Baghdad is young and already vast. The Caliph al-Mansur founded it in the year 762, laying it out as a perfect circle of walls, a round city built to command the trade of half the world. Lamps are being lit behind lattice windows. Somewhere ahead of us, in the heart of the palace quarter, sits a house where books are gathered, copied and read. You can feel the whole city leaning toward it. Merchants from India, from Africa, from the cold northern forests all pass through these gates, and every one of them brings something to trade, a spice, a coin, a story. The city drinks it all in. Baghdad was built to be a crossroads, and knowledge, like silk and salt, is one more thing that flows along its roads. Follow the lamplight through the streets. The air here carries dust and date palms and the sharp, clean smell of fresh ink. We pass shaded courtyards where fountains keep the evening cool. This is a city of paper, and that is no small thing. The craft of paper making has traveled here from the east, and it has changed everything. Where knowledge once lived only on costly parchment, it now spreads on cheap, strong sheets that a scholar can fill in a single sitting. Booksellers line whole streets. A person can buy the thoughts of the dead for the price of a good meal. And at the center of it all waits a single building, its doorway warm with candlelight, where the most precious of those thoughts are kept. Listen, and you can hear the whole trade of it. The low bargaining, the rustle of turning pages, the tap of a binder setting a spine. Paper made books ordinary, and ordinary is a kind of miracle. When a thing becomes cheap enough to share, it stops belonging to kings and starts belonging to everyone. This is the Bait al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom. It begins modestly as a palace library, a place to store the books the early caliphs prized. Al-Mansur, who built the city, was hungry for the learning of older empires. He wanted the mathematics of India, the medicine of Persia, the philosophy of the Greeks. His successors kept collecting. Book by book, translation by translation, the library grew until it was no longer just a storeroom. It became a workshop for the mind. Scholars came to it not only to read what was written, but to carry old knowledge across the borders of language, out of Greek and Syriac and Sanskrit, and into Arabic, the shared tongue of a vast new world. Imagine the reach of that ambition. To pull a Greek idea across 400 years and 3 languages, and set it down whole in a new tongue, is patient, difficult work. Whole careers were spent on single authors, and every finished translation opened a door that a reader in Samarkand or Seville could one day walk through. Its greatest age arrives with one man. The Caliph al-Ma'mun, who ruled from 813 to 833, turns collecting into a mission. The story is told that he sent envoys to distant courts with a single strange request. Not gold, not land, but books. Whole libraries were carried home by caravan. He gathered translators and paid them well, and set them to work, turning the wisdom of the ancient world into a language that reached from Spain to the edge of India. This was not idle hoarding. It was a deliberate act, a decision that the thoughts of the past were worth saving at almost any cost. Under Al-Ma'mun, the House of Wisdom became the beating heart of what we now call the translation movement. He is said to have valued a translated manuscript by its weight in gold, though how literally we should take that, we cannot say. What is certain is the scale of the effort. It was one of the largest deliberate gatherings of knowledge the world had yet seen, funded not by chance, but by will. Think of what passed through these rooms: the geometry of Euclid, the astronomy of Ptolemy, the medicine of the Greeks and the numerals of India, the very digits we still write today. A scholar named Al-Khwarizmi worked in this world, and from his writing we take two ordinary words that shape our lives: algorithm from his name and algebra from the title of his book. Knowledge did not merely sit on these shelves, it grew here. Ideas from India met ideas from Athens, and something new was born in the meeting. For a few centuries, if you wanted to stand at the front edge of human understanding, this was where you came, and this was the river you drank from. Consider that word for a moment. Algebra. It sits in every classroom today, carried down the centuries from a book written in these rooms, its origin quietly forgotten by nearly everyone who uses it. That is what this place did. It planted words in the future that are still growing. Let us sit here a moment, in the heart of the thing. Picture the reading room after dark, rows of low desks, the steady scratch of reed pens on paper, a sound like soft rain. A copyist bends to his work, tracing a line of Aristotle that exists, perhaps, in only one other place on earth. Every book here is made by hand. Every page is hours of a human life. To copy a single text might take a season. And so each volume is not just a book, but a small act of faith, a bet that these words are worth the labor, that someone, someday, will need them. The lamps burn low, the work goes on into the night. There is a stillness to it that is easy to miss. No printing press yet exists in this world. Every copy is a bottleneck, a single point where a text lives or dies. Lose the last copy, and the thought is gone forever, as if the mind that made it had never spoken at all. But here we must be honest, the way good history is honest. We do not know exactly what the House of Wisdom looked like. No blueprint survives, no wall of it can be pointed to today. Historians still debate how large it truly was, whether it was one grand institution or a looser web of libraries and scholars spread across the city. Some of what we picture is reconstruction, stitched from scattered accounts. What is not in doubt is the flowering itself. The translations happened. The mathematics happened. The medicine and astronomy happened. Baghdad, for a long golden season, was the place where the world came to think. The building may be uncertain. The light it cast is not. Honesty like this is not weakness. It is the whole point. A story about knowledge should be careful with what it claims to know. We hold what the evidence supports, and we hold it gently, and we leave room for the parts that time has taken from us. Now the light begins to change. Every golden age has an evening, and Baghdad's comes slowly. After Al-Ma'mun, the caliphs grow weaker. Power drifts to soldiers and rival courts. The great river of patronage that once fed the translators thins to a trickle. The House of Wisdom does not fall in a single night. It fades the way a lamp fades when no one trims the wick. For generations the books remain, and scholars still walk the shelves. But the city around them is no longer the center of the world it once was. Far to the east, on the open grasslands, a new power is rising. One that has never heard the scratch of a reed pen and will not care for it. Decline rarely announces itself. It is a slow subtraction, a lamp here going dark, a translator there finding no work, a room that stays cold one more winter. The people living through it may not even feel the change. Only from a distance, centuries later, can we see the light beginning to lower. That power is the Mongols. In the year 1258, an army led by Hulagu Khan, a grandson of Genghis Khan, arrives at the walls of Baghdad. The city that had gathered the wisdom of the world has grown proud and unready. The siege is short. The walls give way. What follows is one of the great catastrophes of the medieval world, told here without dwelling on its horror. The palaces burn, the markets empty, and the libraries, those quiet rooms full of paper, are broken open. Centuries of copying, of translating, of one human hand passing knowledge to the next, now lie exposed to soldiers who see only kindling and refuse. The long night the copyists always feared has finally come. There is no need to linger on the violence. Cities have fallen before and since, and the pattern is always the same sorrow. What matters for our story is narrower and stranger. Among everything a conquering army might destroy, it was the paper, the quiet paper, that would haunt the memory of the world. And this is why the river ran black. So many books were thrown into the Tigris. The old accounts say that the water turned dark with their ink and stayed dark for days. Some survivors claimed the pages formed a bridge across the current, enough to bear the weight of a man on horseback. Others remembered the river running red instead, from a different kind of loss. We cannot measure the truth of these images now, but we can hear what they meant. To the people who lived it, the destruction was so vast that only the river itself could carry the size of it. The ink of 10,000 nights of work, unwritten in an afternoon. Whether the tale of the ink is precise or a survivor's grief made into an image, its meaning holds either way. A library is not only a building, it is generations of attention, poured out drop by drop, and when it is lost the way a whole language is lost, all at once, and yet piece by piece. Yet not everything drowned. Here the story keeps a small, stubborn light. Before the end came, a Persian astronomer named Nasir al-Din al-Tusi saw the danger clearly. He lived from 1201 to 1274, and he did not wait for the water to rise. By some accounts, he carried thousands of manuscripts out of harm's way, north to a new observatory being built at Maraga, in what is now northwest Iran. There, under a different sky, the saved books were read again. The knowledge did not all dissolve. Some of it was picked up, carried over the horizon, and set down gently in another room, where new hands could keep the copying alive. One man, seeing the storm, chose to act rather than mourn. That choice matters. It reminds us that catastrophe is rarely total, that in almost every ruin there is someone quietly carrying something out the back door, refusing to let all of it end. And that is the quiet truth the Black River hides. The library could be burned. The building could be lost so completely that we cannot even find its walls. But the words had already escaped. They were in Maraga and in Cordoba and in Cairo, copied and recopied, translated and translated again. The numerals on this page, the word algebra in a schoolroom. The star names we still whisper at the telescope. These are pieces of the House of Wisdom, carried out of the fire on other people's shelves. A river can drown a library. It cannot drown an idea once enough hands have held it. That was the copyist's faith all along. Ideas are strange that way. They weigh nothing, and yet they are the hardest things in the world to destroy completely. Burn every copy in one city, and a copy in another city keeps breathing. The House of Wisdom taught the world that lesson without meaning to. So we come back to the water, where we began. It is quiet now, centuries on. Modern Baghdad rises along the same Tigris, and the river runs clear again under the same old moon. Of the House of Wisdom, no stone is left that we can be sure of. Only the words remain, scattered through every library on earth, still being read tonight by someone who will never know their source. The copyists stayed at their desks for a reason. They were right. The ink washed away by morning. What it carried never did. Rest here, by the river. The lamps have gone out, and the story keeps its watch. Tomorrow the river will still be there, and so will the words, waiting on their shelves the way they always have. That is enough. That was always enough.